Air samples are taken by field teams to determine the composition of the radioactive particles in the air that have either been resuspended or are being carried by the plume. The air samples will be sent to the lab and analyzed so that the State Emergency Operations Center can use this information to make informed protective action decisions for the public. Air samples are only taken if the results of the stationary dose rate at your sampling point indicate that an air sample is necessary. To take an air sample, proceed to a low background area. Remove the sampler head from your air sampling kit. There are two filters in the air sampler head: a flat paper-like particulate filter and an iodine filter cartridge. If the filters are already installed, inspect the particulate filter to make sure that there are no holes in it. If you need to install the filters, obtain the paper-like particulate filter and the iodine filter cartridge from your air sampling kit. On the particulate filter, mark the outside edge of the rough side with a tick mark using a Sharpie. Unscrew the thin top ring and put in the particulate filter rough side up. Then replace the ring. Next, unscrew the thick ring and place the iodine filter inside the ring with the arrow facing down toward the threads. The arrow indicates the direction of airflow. Now reassemble the air sampler head and attach it to the pump. Proceed into the plume area to begin sampling. Ensure the power for the air sampler unit is turned off by pressing the white switch to the off position. Connect the power cables to the vehicle's battery. The black connector is attached first, then the red connector. Plug in the air sampler and start the vehicle if it is not already running. Turn the power switch to the on position. The unit will go through a quick self-test and is ready when it displays a calibration range. Press the Set button found on the face of the air sampler. A default sample volume will be displayed. Press the Set button again and enter a sample volume of 10 cubic feet. Press Enter again, then press Start to begin the air sampler. To complete, it will run for about 10 minutes. Once you have collected about 5 cubic feet, you should perform another stationary dose rate survey. Then perform another stationary dose rate survey at the end of the air sample. This is to confirm the presence of the plume throughout the air sampling process. Contact the command van for recommendations if you are no longer in the plume at the end of your air sample. For each stationary dose rate survey, you should record your results on the appropriate form. The air sampler will automatically stop when the programmed 10 cubic foot sample has been taken. Record the time stopped on the sample control form. Turn the power switch to the off position. Unplug the sampler and disconnect the power cord from the vehicle's battery. Red connector first, then the black connector. Unscrew the air sampler head and carefully place it in the canister or in a plastic bag filter side up. Handle carefully so as to not dislodge particulates from the particulate filter. Exit the site and proceed to a low background area to finish packaging the sample. Once in a low background area, the field teams should monitor their vehicles, equipment, and themselves for contamination and change personal protective equipment if necessary. Disassemble the air sampler head and remove the particulate filter with the tweezers found in your air sampling kit. Carefully place the particulate filter in a Whirlpack bag and seal. If necessary, change gloves. Then measure the inlet side of the particulate filter, which is the rough side that has the small tick mark. Record the results on the sample control form in the box labeled Gross Particulate Filter. Change your gloves to prevent cross-contamination. Remove the iodine filter and carefully place it into a Whirlpack bag and seal. Using the Ludlum 26, measure the inlet side of the iodine filter. Remember, the arrow marks the direction of the airflow into the air sampler. Record the results on the sample control form in the box labeled Gross Iodine Filter. Then complete the sections marked Total Flow, Net Particulate Filter, and Net Iodine Filter. Remember that the net amount is the gross counts minus background. Contact the command van and report results as soon as possible. Then finish packaging the sample. Obtain 2 clear sample bags from your sampling kit and place the 2 WhirlPack bags into one of the sample bags. Remove the air from the sample bag, taking care to not brush the bag against your clothing. Then seal with masking tape and place it into the other sample bag. Then set the Ludlum 2241 to the number 4 red dot position and the 44-6 probe to the closed window position. Hold the probe approximately 1 inch away from the bag's surface and scan all sides. The highest reading from this survey is your contact dose rate. Record this number on the sample control form. If your reading is greater than 1 mR per hour, contact the command van because the public health lab may not be able to process samples 1 mR per hour or higher. Once all the appropriate boxes are filled in on the sample control form, place the pink copy in between the 2 sample bags. The form may be folded, but the sample control number on the top corner of the form must be visible. Remove the air from the second sample bag, again taking care not to brush it up against your clothing. Close and seal with masking tape and wrap a band of evidence tape around the seal. Record the contact dose rate on a radioactive decal sticker and affix it to the outside sample bag. Once again, make sure the sample control number is still visible and not covered by the sticker. Collect all samples from the site and place them in a larger site bag. When done sampling, clean off the equipment using Radiac wash or handy wipes, changing gloves frequently to prevent cross-contamination.